Okay, hey Carson, I'm going to try to explain how to do this assignment, but if you first go into Google Classroom and go to the classwork tab and then scroll to week 7 and open up the student budget form, that's how we'll get started. And for our references, I'll go ahead and open up yours just so I'm not messing with somebody else's work, and so you can kind of see it the way that you would see it on your screen. So as it loads, you'll see the student budget form, and if you read the directions, it says that you're going to use a budgeting tool to create 3 zero-based budgets. So the first thing we need to do is read about Marcus. He's our first budget. So as we read through this, he is a high school student who works at a lumber yard making $10.50 an hour. With his academic and sports schedule, he is able to work 25 hours a week. He can pick up extra hours, but not consistently, so we're just going to assume the $10.50 an hour for 25 hours. Marcus lives at home, so he has very few bills. He is responsible for his cell phone bill, which is $65 a month, and he pays his auto insurance, which is $1,200 a year. That's important because we're going to need to divide it by 12 to find out what it is for a month. He also pays for his gas, maintenance, and repairs on his car. So we'll need a budget for those things. Lastly, Marcus is responsible for his spending money. He has a fully funded emergency fund of $500, but he has a goal of saving additional money for new tires. So he's already got that fund, but he's got goals, so we need to set aside some savings for him. As a high school student, assume that groceries, health insurance, and utilities are expenses that are covered by his parents. And then you're going to create a digital zero-based budget that fits Marcus's needs. So in order to do this, we have to keep in mind how much he makes. And so we have to figure out the $10.50 an hour times 25 hours and what that is. And so I'm going to try here to show you a little bit by drawing on the screen. It's not going to be pretty, but we'll see what we can come up with here. All right, so if Marcus makes $10.50 an hour and he works 25 hours, we're just going to do some simple multiplication. $10.50 times 25. Yes, I'm having some difficulties here. Let's see if we can figure this out. All right, I think I got it here. 25. There we go. That equals, let's see here, typing it in. Okay. Sorry, this is taking me a moment. I apologize. $262.50. So that's what it would be in 1 week. We need to figure out what it's going to be for the month. So we're going to multiply that by 4. And in order to do that, we just type that into our calculator, $262.50 times 4, and we get $1,050. So that's what we're working with for the month. But like everywhere, taxes comes out. And so I told everybody to assume a 20% tax rate, which means he's taking home 80% of his pay. If we take 80% and make that a decimal, it's 0.8. So we're going to take that $1,050 and multiply it by 0.8 to find out what he's actually going to make. And his total comes to $840. So that's what we're working with for the month. Now we're ready to get started on the budgeting software. So if you go back into your assignment and click on the link for foundationsu.com, it's going to take us to the website that allows us to get to this tool. And the first thing it's going to ask you is which building you're in. You're in the high school, so you're going to choose high school. And then you're going to choose the very first tool, which is the online budgeting tool. And it asks, enter your monthly income. So we're doing this for Marcus, so it's $840 that we're working with. And then it comes up with his budget, but it's with suggested percentages that they would give to anyone. So we need to make it so that it's for Marcus. So the best thing to do is to go down through all the categories and zero them out. And get them all to 0 so that you have your 840 at the top with all of it remaining that you need to establish accounts for or categories for. So you can see I'm trying to go through and do this. I'm trying to do it quickly, but it might take you a little bit the first time you do it. And you can see I typed in 0 down there, but it didn't quite go through, so I have to go back and fix it and hit enter off of it or something. Okay, so now I have the 840. I have budgeted none of it, so I need to go through and budget for his various things. So his cell phone bill, his amount that he sets aside for his car insurance, and then we know that he takes care of some other things, so even though it doesn't give us exact dollar amounts, we need to decide how much we think he should budget for those various areas. And since we're creating a zero-based budget, we need to do it so that the entire 840 is accounted for. Now, a lot of that might go into savings, or a lot of that might go into personal, or whatever you choose to call it, but we need to make sure that every penny is accounted for so we can get that remaining amount to 0. And this is really what you're going to do for each person. Then when you've figured it out, how you're going to do it, you need to screenshot the budget, or you can send it to your email and screenshot it from there. And so I'm going to try and do this. It's giving me a little bit of difficulty on my iPad because I switched directions. But basically, you can either screenshot it from there, showing me that you have created a zero-based budget so I can see all the info, or you can send it to your email. And I'm going to have to go in and redo it real quick just so I can do this. So let me just kind of type some things in there so it'll let me print something. And then once you've got that screenshotted, on your sheet, you'll see that there's a spot to put the picture for Marcus's budget, a place to put a picture for Jenna's budget, and then a place to put a picture for your own budget. So we just kind of worked through Marcus's most of the way together. You need to still go in and actually do it. But then you'll basically do the same thing for Jenna. You'll figure out what her income is, write in her expenses the way that they should be, and then adjust the rest of her monies so that you're creating a zero-based budget. And so here you can see the Marcus picture spot and the Jenna picture spot, and then your own personal picture spot. There are 2 reflective questions at the bottom, so please don't forget about those. But in essence, that's the project or the assignment. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. But hopefully this little video, if you have to pause it or stop it or rewind it, it will be helpful in helping you figure out how to do this assignment. And again, if you were in class, it would have made a lot more sense. I know I breezed through it in this little video, but I did try to explain everything that I would have explained had you been here. So, all right. Thank you, Carson, and have a great day. Let me know if you have questions.